Okay, today is December 28th, 2015, and interviewing my parents. I saw this website, Interview Someone You Love About Life, and I thought it'd be good to videotape you guys. There's about 32 questions, but so sit back and relax. Just whatever comes to mind when it comes to these questions, okay?
Okay.
And so the first one is, and either one of you can answer whatever comes to mind first. What comes to mind when you think about growing up in your hometown?
Go first.
Small town,
And,
know
and,
everybody.
and that was Sinclair?
St. Clair, Missouri.
In fact, you got your shirt on that says Sinclair.
I do.
Yeah.
St. Clair Bulldogs. The Fighting Bulldogs.
So, anything else?
Your camaraderie of the school system. It's a small school, so I knew most everybody in it.
How about you, Mom? Where'd you grow up in?
Fargo, North Dakota, and Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Cold, I think cold. Wrapped up, bundling up, walking to school. Seems like we always lived the farthest away.
Okay.
Just cold.
What did you love to do as a kid before high school?
Play basketball.
I didn't know that.
That's all we had to do. There was no TV or any of that other stuff.
Huh. How old were you when you finally got TV?
Got it in after the war, 47 or 46. But there was only 2 channels that went off the air at midnight.
Okay.
So
Before.
say I was 9 or 10.
How about you, Mom? What did you love to do as a kid before high school?
We used to go outside of town, go to the horse stables, go down by the railroad track, pretend we were dress up, but if I went over to a girl's some night and spent the night, we'd dress up and just silly kid stuff. Nothing special.
Okay. What did you love to do in high school? Any one of you?
I like studies.
Uh-huh.
In the summertime, we went swimming a lot.
Was there like a community pool?
No,
Or-
we went swimming in Indian Creek and the Merrimack River.
Oh.
I liked high school, and although I moved from one high school to another high school, back to the same high school, which I graduated from, but football, screaming our heads so we were off, so we were hoarse. We just loved the football team.
The football team did pretty well.
Yeah,
Most of
the Rams.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have a football team. Too
Okay.
small.
How many people were in your class?
55. Graduating class, 55.
About 450.
What do you remember most about your teenage years? What comes to mind?
Getting my driver's license.
Freedom, huh?
Nothing particular. I can't think of
Getting married.
that.
How old were you guys when you got married?
I was 18.
And
I
you
was
were.
21.
And how did you guys meet?
Met at we called him uncle, but we met at my cousin's house. My cousin was a buddy with her dad. I met her dad before I met her.
Oh. And your cousin,
Rod,
Uncle Rod.
And I went over with some friends to Uncle Rod's house, and he was helping Uncle Rod move. He didn't have a shirt on. He was loading the thing. He looked pretty cool to me.
Tremendous muscles.
I don't know.
And then how long did you guys date for? Or what was your first date?
Let's say about 6 months.
I think we started to go out with the cousins and friends, and then we went bowling and
Movies.
and stuff, and then pretty soon they weren't there, but we were. We went by ourselves.
Okay. And then how did you ask Mom to marry you?
He drove around all evening. Did you come from San Diego?
I don't remember, probably.
Because you were in the Navy. He had the engagement ring on the little finger, driving around. We went out to a drive-in and ate and everything. I never saw it. Finally had to tell me and show me.
So you were trying to flash it, and she never paid attention.
Well, I wasn't a real flasher, but it's normal business.
Do you remember where you got the ring?
Yeah,
Where?
at the Navy Exchange, Naval Training Center, San Diego.
You mean where you bought it?
And do you have the ring still, Mom?
I do not have it right now. I gave it to Donna.
Oh,
She got
Now,
a bigger one.
this is
Donna
silly.
lost hers, so, and then I got another one which I don't have on now. But so I gave it to her. Now she's got a whopper of a one. So
Well, this is a silly question. So how much did you pay for a wedding ring back then?
$222.
You actually remember that? Wow.
Maybe wasn't 222. It was 2 something.
Oh, okay. And it had diamonds and it was white gold?
yeah, it's really pretty.
I remember it.
Really, really pretty.
Yeah.
I did good.
And did you guys have a honeymoon?
What,
No,
a couple hours?
no, we really. The day we were married, we went out to dinner with Pat and Urshel, and then that night he went back to San Diego. For what school you were going to? What school were you at? Teletype repair?
Teletype maintenance.
Teletype maintenance school. And then he came back the following weekend.
Huh.
We never did have a honeymoon. We went to,
Went to Hawaii for 3 years.
yeah, I guess
That's
you could call that one.
That's a honeymoon.
Lived on Waikiki Beach for 2 months.
What do you remember most about your mom?
My mother,
Yeah.
all her illness, I guess.
So growing up, you just remember her being sick a lot?
No, she was, she had mental problems when she went through I guess the change of life.
Okay.
And not as stable as other folks.
Okay. How about you, Mom?
I would call her a strong woman. I would call her, she was a good cook, real good cook. Had to have everything clean. Not that we didn't have arguments and disagreements and issues, but
Right.
nothing that we didn't, figure out.
Okay.
So it was a pretty good relationship.
What do you remember most about your grandma and either grandma?
Grandma Mabel Shriver. Sweetest, lovingest, most kind woman in the whole world. Took me to church a lot. She would just, I was pretty little, so I'd be writing a lot of little notes and doing little stuff while the services were going on. But I think some of it sunk in, but even when you're sitting there so little. But every time she wanted to go to church, I went with her if I was staying at her house. So I think that was a strong influence for her. And her doing special little things for making pies, lefse, special occasions, taking care of her husband, who used to holler at her. But she did everything lovingly. And she's always very praying for people to be healed. And for family. I always felt that God was taking care of her family because she was praying for everybody. I said, nothing's going to happen because, she just has said it to God, and God's listening to her.
That's
I had
good.
that peace in my heart about that.
That's good.
You didn't know that, did you?
How about you guys might find out something about each other after
Yeah.
54 or
Yeah.
55 years. How about you, Dad?
I remember both my grandmothers. My maternal grandmother was about 4'10", and in about the first 7 or 8 years of my life, we would spend a week or two there in the summers. And she had chickens in the backyard. couple mean roosters. One of the roosters trapped me in the hen house once, and I was afraid of it. But the other paternal grandmother, basically, we lived with her till I joined the Navy.
Oh, okay.
And she was 4'11". She was a big one.
And why did you live with her? Live with her at the time?
I don't know why, actually. Because it was convenient.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
What do you remember most about your dad?
Oscar. I think he's a special man. Everybody liked him. He was a good polka dancer. Played cards but handsome has been described to me about him and how everybody liked him. And I stayed and lived with him when my parents separated and got a divorce. I lived with my dad, so he was there for me.
Okay. Dad?
My dad was a drinker in his early years, and he quit in the 50s, started a cab company in St. Clair, Missouri, and ran that till he died. When did he die? 92? So quite a long time.
So as far as what you remember most about your dad is just him driving a cab, or?
Well, you're talking about many years. So pick one thing out.
Yeah.
Let's see, what one thing? I guess the one thing I can remember is we went to a shooting match, and he had too much to drink, and I drove home.
And you were what age?
15.
Had you driven a car
And he
before?
yelled at me. No, I'd never driven before. And he yelled at me, "Hey, don't slip the clutch like that."
All right.
One of the things you remember.
Well, to pick one thing out of 50 years, good grief.
Well, that's what comes to mind. What do you remember most about your grandpa?
I guess I'll take that one. Again, I remember both of them. But the significant, or the most memorable one is probably Grandpa Engelken, who was an immigrant from Germany, came to the United States in 1890, according to the what's that thing?
Census.
Yeah, the census.
I'll help you out. You help me out.
And he had a German accent. I can remember that. He had no teeth. Used to eat raw hamburger, salt, pepper, not totally raw. And he would walk up to town when he was in his 80s, get him a shot. But he was kind of cool in his own way, but not a real people person.
Okay.
The other one was an ex-miner, and he had, he was nothing significant really that I can remember about him,
Okay.
other than he had a razor strop out in the woodshed.
Did he ever use it on you?
No, threatened, but never used it.
Oh.
I was a good guy.
How are you, Mom?
Well, I think my grandpa Shriver, because I didn't know my grandpa Kraft, but my grandpa Shriver drank a lot, gave a lot of problems to his wife Mabel. But I remember he loved Grand Ole Opry, and he, of course, listened to the radio because it had television. And I can remember him bouncing his leg up to the music and just clapping and having a great time with that. And he had 2 teeth, and then he had emphysema, so he struggled with that. That's about it.
Okay. What was... Okay, hold on. Well, you already answered this one. How did you meet your spouse and know she was the one? Well, how did you know she was the one? Or he, or,
I took a shot.
How do you know? You just know, I guess. I don't know how
Well,
to answer
I
that.
followed my general rule number 12. Get them young, train them right.
Okay, go to the next question.
Well, no, I mean, do you have any thought, Mom? You just
Of why
you just fell in love and felt he was the one?
Yeah, I think,
I mean, you were 18, fresh out of high
right,
school.
yeah.
She was a mature 18.
I had dated another guy,
Mm-hmm.
and dated other, kind of seriously,
Mhm.
but, I don't know, when we met, we just seemed to click, and
Yeah. She dated Carol's brother,
Oh, really?
Carol Wright.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Now you know.
How did you choose your career, and what was your favorite part about it? That would be more for Dad.
She had a career.
I did, raising kids.
You get a pension.
Uh,
I joined the Navy because I didn't have the money to go to college, although I had some scholarships. But I had the draft hanging over me, so I figured I'd get that out of the way. I didn't want to go work in a shoe factory in St. Clair, and I didn't want to commute into St. Louis and work for McDonnell Douglas, so I joined the Navy. At the end of my term, I was having fun. I still didn't know what I wanted to do, so I shipped over,
Okay.
and the rest is history.
So that's how you chose it. What was your favorite part about joining the Navy?
Favorite part about joining the Navy?
Or,
Seeing
you know,
the
being in
world.
the Navy and
Seeing the world.
any
Travel.
any favorite ports, cities, countries?
Oh, I guess our favorite port was probably Hong Kong.
And what about Hong Kong that you liked?
Good food, good clothes, tailor-made suit for $27.
How about you, Mom?
my career?
No, as far as Hong Kong.
Oh, Hong Kong. Well, when we lived in the Philippines, then we had a 4 or 5 day trip over there.
About 5 days.
Yeah, and just being together, seeing, what I found interesting there was the Chinese speaking English in English accents like they were from Great Britain.
Oh, interesting. So like a Great Britain English accent.
Well, it's a British,
the Queen's
it was
English.
a British colony.
The Queen's English.
Yes,
Hmm.
so I think that was kind of cool. And then going to the edge of communist China
Hmm.
And going to the,
Victoria Peak, the top of the,
going to the place where the atomic bomb fell.
But that's in-
oh, in Japan, I went there.
Yeah, what was that like?
It's all a park now.
I mean, it's a memorial, and there's
Yeah.
no crater or anything. But
No.
Oh, no.
what's
a
it like being
statue.
there? It's kind of like going to the Vietnam War Memorial. You know, you kind of reflect
Similar,
a little bit.
yeah, similar. Just seems solemn, and then they have the museum where you see the pictures and what had transpired.
I guess every school kid in Japan or in that area, Nagasaki, has to go through this museum that's,
Hmm.
and so there was a bunch of them there when we were, and there's all these pictures, you know, and there was a little kid about, I don't know, 8 or 9 next to me, and in perfect plain English, when we're looking at this, he looks up, he says, "Oh, what do you think of that?" And I didn't know what to say, like, "You guys had to hit Pearl Harbor, probably wouldn't happen." I didn't say that, but
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, what do you say to something like that? Okay. What made you successful at work?
I'll answer that.
Okay.
But just always being there on time, working hard, getting along with people. Just
And for the sake of the video, tell people what you did.
I worked for the San Diego City School District. I worked for the counseling office, and then I worked for La Jolla High School, counseling, and it had a lot to do with getting kids into college, advanced placement testing, absences, kids in trouble, things to do with just general counseling for counselors.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about you, Dad?
I guess the not being satisfied unless I did it right.
Oh, that's good. So that, I mean, you had 3 careers: the Navy, Trade Corps,
Essentially,
Math-
and even
math
within
high
the
school
Navy,
teacher.
each duty station was a different
Uh-huh.
operation.
What about teaching high school math at Palm Desert High School?
What about it?
As far as what made you successful at helping students to understand and, it's a
You
different
know, I
age.
don't know how good a teacher I was. The kids seemed to like me, and I was lucky enough to teach a lot of honors classes. But one thing I know for sure, I was the best grader around there. If they didn't, too many A's were given away.
So you did
too
like
many
the
B's.
90, 80, 70
If
scale?
I gave them an A, they knew it.
Oh. Did you do it like a bell curve or 90, 80, 70?
Pretty much 60, 70, 80, 90.
Yeah. Okay. Did you like teaching more than the Navy or,
Apples and oranges.
so there's probably things you liked about teaching and things you liked about the Navy or,
Well, there were some things about the Navy at the time you didn't particularly care for,
yeah. Right. What did you believe about yourself that helped you become successful and deal with hard times?
But did I say that again?
What did you believe about yourself that made you successful to deal with hard times?
I guess confidence in my capability.
How about you, Mom?
Well, the hard times I think about is when he was gone, and he was gone a year in Vietnam. He was gone 6 months cruise. He was gone 6 months cruise. So for several years and time in a row, he wasn't there. So he had to be strong for the kids. Daniel. While he was gone, I think it was Vietnam because he was gone a long time. He would just seem like you could just tell that his irritability would start to increase and get more, where he was just, it's like he was mad at the world. So sometimes I'd just go in there and sit down and we'd start talking and he'd talk and talk and talk. He'd
I never
yell
knew
everything off his I don't remember doing it with you
Uh-huh.
because I don't think you had that.
I don't remember being
issue.
irritable.
You were stable.
You were a stable guy. But this was junior high too, so when kids are from before they get to high school. And, it seemed like after you just sit there and listen for a little bit of conversation. He's back on track and everything's wonderful. It worked.
That's good.
But the last cruise, when I came back, you know what she told me?
What?
Don't you ever leave me alone with those two boys again.
Well, I think probably when Dan and I used to
You
fight,
were turning into teenagers.
just kind of, we were close in age and, that probably drove Mom crazy. Let's see here. What times in your life truly tested your mettle, METTLE, and what did you learn about yourself by dealing or not dealing with them?
I didn't understand the,
What times in your life truly tested your mettle?
I know that part.
And what did you learn about yourself by dealing or not dealing with them?
Oh. Go ahead.
I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. Go ahead, maybe I'll think of something. Can you think of something?
Well, anytime you get thrown into a different or unknown situation,
Yeah.
I guess one could say your mettle is tested. So it happens a lot. Probably most of the time it was dealing with people. So somebody wants to pick a fight, so to speak. They're coming in with that attitude, and if you're able to diffuse it and make them part of the gang, so to speak, you've done pretty good.
Good.
That's just one aspect, there's all kinds of things.
Right. Any thoughts, Mom?
No.
What three events most shaped your life? What three events most shaped your life?
Well, I don't know if you'd call your children one event,
Sure.
but that would
Parenthood.
be parenthood. Yeah, would be.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Right. And then shaped my life. I guess you being gone a lot too. I don't know. tough one.
Well, I could pick out three significant things that happened that certainly shaped, joining the Navy was one, getting married was one, going to the NESEP program was one.
The what program?
NESEP, Navy Enlisted Scientific Education Program, the one they sent me to college.
Okay, and that was in Columbia.
University of
Went
Missouri.
to University of Missouri, Columbia, yeah,
Yeah, that was nice because the Navy paid your way for college.
they did.
Yeah.
And after that, I went to Officer Candidate School in Newport, Rhode Island, and was commissioned an officer. That's a significant change, so that's a significant event.
Yeah. Anything else comes to mind, Mom?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Put me down for parenthood too.
That's 4.
What do you remember about when each of us was born? I mean, anything
Oh,
comes to mind.
well, you were born, David was born in Hawaii. And,
I remember the first time I saw you, you had a forceps mark right across your face.
but you
At
couldn't,
Tripler Army Hospital.
at Tripler Army Hospital, he would not be allowed to come into the, like today where the
That's
dads,
weird.
they don't allow.
This is way back then.
I know, but still, you know.
And also, you stayed 6 days after the day of delivery. So depending on the time that you delivered, you could stay almost 7 days there.
That's just that was just standard.
Yeah. At the
Operating
time.
Now they
procedure.
throw you out after the first night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the shower, the night of the shower, I was very upset with him because I'm home. We're living in Navy housing. I'm looking out the window, and I had asked him to get me a diaper pail because we didn't have disposable diapers. We had cloth diapers. He wouldn't get it for me. And I'm seeing some of my friends going back and forth across the parking lot with each other, and I'm getting kind of upset because here I had this baby, nobody's thinking about me, or I don't know what I'm thinking. And the next thing I know, I'm going next door, and they have a big surprise shower, baby shower for me. So
Oh.
I got my diaper pail.
I think I've seen a picture of that shower.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, that was fun.
How about Dan?
Daniel he was in school in San Diego. I was staying with his Uncle Rod,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent him telegrams telling that his son was born, but
That
he
must
never
be
got
neat
the
to see.
telegrams.
It's like getting a text.
Yeah, his telegrams were sent then, and so he came the next day, Saturday morning, and Daniel had been born, and then when you went back, you got your telegrams.
Yeah.
And Donna was born in San Diego,
Mhm.
went to the hospital, and she was born in the hallway on the way to the delivery room.
Wasn't she like in an incubator later, or whatever they call it, or display
No, she
case?
was just
or?
in isolation. She was
Oh.
in her own
Couldn't
room.
put her in
Not
with
an
the rest of the
incubator,
kids
but-
because she was contaminated.
But
Because it
Wasn't
was
she
an
in-
unsterile or undraped delivery or something, because she was born in the hallway.
Uh-huh.
So they didn't want to contaminate her or put her in the room.
Hmm.
So the first thing they said, okay, within 24 hours, she can come in and, or you can go see her, or one or the other, can't remember.
Mm.
So 24 hours came, and the doctor came and said, well, with a 48-hour deal, then you can see your baby.
Mm-hmm.
So when that was the pediatrician. So when my doctor come in, and I said that to him, then I started bawling my head off. I haven't seen my baby yet. And he says, just a minute, I'll be right back. He walked out the door, and about 10 minutes later, she was in my arms. I mean, I don't know who he was hollering
10 minutes
at.
probably seemed like a long time for you still.
Oh, yeah. You have your baby.
Yeah, that's
wants
kind
a
of
baby.
odd that they don't do that nowadays. You know.
No. You're delivered right. The baby's with you all the time.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
Things have changed.
Did you know that Donna was going to be a girl?
No. No.
Did they have ultrasound back then?
Not that I know of. I didn't.
If they did, we didn't use it.
Oh.
With you, when I was at Tripoli Armor Hospital, I think I had a different doctor every time I went for my appointment.
Oh, weird.
And with Daniel, I had two different doctors because we moved from Hawaii to and he was born in Linwood, so we had different doctors.
Mhm.
Donna, I had the same doctor. But,
And so what happens, what would do you think if Donna was a boy, that would be 3 boys?
that would have been it.
You didn't want to have a girl? Try it for a
Well,
girl?
I wanted a girl, but
Oh,
It's hard to
my
say
3
what-
sons would be enough.
Hard to say whether we would have tried again. but
Oh,
Luckily, the challenge didn't present itself.
right, okay. Were you ever scared to be a parent?
no. I don't ever remember being scared. I
Okay.
can remember being angry at Charlene in Hawaii, my firstborn child, and she was babysitting. We went to a movie, and you were maybe 3-4 months old.
Mhm.
And I always held you in my arms to feed you, and she put you on the floor and propped up the bottle. When I came back and I saw that, I was upset because she didn't hold you in your arms.
That's funny. You were concerned maybe, huh?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Firstborn, but secondborn, thirdborn, it's not as big a deal.
Yeah, lay there and drink your stuff. Shut up.
All right, let's see. What 3 words would you say represented your approach to parenting and why?
3 words?
What 3 words would you say represented your approach to parenting and why?
Independent words.
Well, that's just a question. I mean, you know, take it and run with it, whatever you think.
Love. Love.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that goes without
Love.
saying. I would think.
Discipline.
Discipline, yeah.
Um,
Demanding.
that's kind of discipline.
But it's still a bit different.
Yeah.
Demanding.
Demand certain actions, and thou shalt do this and thou shalt not do that.
So basically obey. And then you get a spanking if you deliberately disobey my orders.
Now, 2 rules that get you, two things that get your butt smacked. Lying and direct disobedience of a lawful order.
I got that ingrained in me. All right.
Okay.
When you think about, well, here, this is, when you think about a sibling, how would you describe him? I mean, you can pick Skeeter or you can pick,
I know what
Patty.
sibling means, David.
oh, well, I mean, I'm just saying, it's like fill in the blank.
What do I remember about a sibling?
Like Skeeter or Charlene.
Like Skeeter or Charlene or.
Yeah, yeah, when you think about them, what do you think of?
Skeeter made it too late to really enjoy the fruits of his labors.
Okay.
How about when you were young kids together?
I used to beat him up. No, he'd get in my stuff. Get out of my stuff. And then he'd go in there, he broke my arm.
What was the age difference between you guys?
What?
What was the age difference between you and Skeeter?
A little over 3 years.
Okay. And then what about Charlene? She's a,
It's almost 9 years. We
yeah,
were,
that must be tough to
I was
even,
appointed her legal guardian. She came to live with us in Hawaii.
oh, I didn't know, I knew that latter part, I didn't know the first part.
Yeah. I got the paper somewhere from some court saying, bless you, you're a guardian.
How about you, Mom? Patty,
Patty,
Leonard,
well, she
Renee?
was oldest, and she used to give us our Saturday night baths, wash her hair, put her hair up in curlers, or I guess curlers, or curl our hair. Bobby pins, probably, little bobby pins. So we'd be pretty for church the next day. And she was, I remember her maybe cleaning the house and going off to her friends, older. I didn't. Renee and I were like buddies, and I would kind of, if we go to a movie, she'd fall asleep, I'd have to take her or put her to bed or, you know, that, we were kind of close now. We've always been closest, I think. And of course Leonard wasn't around, he was at his school and so he wasn't home too much.
Okay. Okay. When you think about your spouse, how would you describe her or him? So let whoever wants to go first. When you just think about Dad, how would you describe him?
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
Giving.
That's nice.
That it?
Well, I mean,
Well, she wakes up, gets out of bed and sits there and thinks about what could I do for somebody today. And I say, shut up.
you don't say shut up.
She sweats everything. Like, how's David gonna get to Colorado? Well, he's gonna drive. Well, what about the roads?
I noticed that, Mom.
It might snow.
I noticed that an hour ago. We have a 4-wheel drive truck, and we'll be fine. Unless it's really bad, we're not done. We'll pull off, you know.
Yeah.
But the roads will be fine.
Just these little things that go through your mind, you don't worry about people.
Yeah. How about you, Mom? How would you describe Dad?
Ooh,
What comes to mind?
Cantankerous? No.
grumpy, no. I think he's strong. And that could be strong in his mind and his will. Could be
Mhm.
both. Very caring. A little bit funny.
A little bit.
He has his sense of humor,
Like a
but I
driver.
like it. Usually.
Okay, that's good. This one might seem like a different type of question that you may or may not want to answer. It's up to you. What message do you have for your spouse that you want her or him to always keep in mind? What message do you have for your spouse that you want her or him to always keep in mind? Kind of a
At
difference.
this point in my life, I would say that the message is I'll keep trying what I'm able to do.
Mm,
Me
that's
too.
good.
There's some things I can't do anymore, that either because I can't or the punishment for doing them is, total out of breath and suffering, so to speak, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Mom, if you don't have anything, it's
No,
yeah, okay. You guys can plead the fifth if you want.
very good.
Okay, no, not that you have to. Let's see. Okay, what 3 words would you say best describe who you try to be in life and how you want to be remembered?
Who you,
What 3 words would you say best describe who you tried to be in life and how you want to be remembered?
I wanted to be like my grandma. There you go. I guess she would be the first choice.
Because
If you could be like her, you got it made in the shade.
she was a walking angel.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't think I tried to emulate anybody. I tried to do what I know I ought to do,
Mm-hmm.
and there was nobody that I picked out as a quote-unquote role model or anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see here. When you think about their careers, what do you want your children to focus on?
Focus on your family. It'll be with you forever.
Sounds good to me.
How about your grandchildren?
Focus on your family.
Same message. Okay. What have you learned about other people in life? Trustworthy, kind or not, mean, whatever. What have you learned about other people in life?
All of the above.
That's what I was gonna say. You run into the whole gamut, depending on where in your work or where you are, probably. I mean, eventually.
Yeah. I think it's Donna, but she can hold on for a little bit. We're at number 26
Ooh.
out of 32. What do you think the world needs more of right now?
Do you want me to get it?
Yeah, you can get it. Sure.
Well,
It's gone to the
gonna go.
speaker
It's
by
gonna go
now.
to the speaker. Yeah.
No, it's gone to speaker.
What do you think the world needs more of right now?
What I think of is like because we're
I think I know what they need less of.
what?
Terrorists.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking more in the vein of people. We always say, well, people are so stupid; they don't even understand what's going on. So if they just had sometimes common sense about
Yeah, more common sense. I'll go with that.
about and history, they don't know history. They don't know who.
And they
Sometimes
vote.
the vice, and they vote, and the vice president, they don't know who's running and doing things, so. Maybe they'll catch up.
So less terrorists and more knowledge, more history.
Yeah.
Works.
Sure.
Okay. What do you believe people want the most in life?
Be happy.
I guess, yeah, that's pretty general. Yeah, contentment, happiness. Various people want other stuff. Like some people want what's mine and what's somebody else's. Who knows?
Okay. What were the 3 best decisions you've ever made?
Hello.
Well, applying for the NESAP program was one.
How about marrying me?
Well, I was going to save that for the top.
I thought you were saving it for last.
No, you go 3, 2, 1. You know.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
So you got to be quick on your feet. I guess getting out of the Navy was a good decision.
Was that a hard decision?
Going into teaching. It wasn't really a hard decision, but it was almost like, well, have I gone as far as I could go? No, I don't think I had, because my retirement papers and my selection to the command school had crossed. So, and of course, number 1 is the marriage.
How about you, Mom?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go the other way. Picking him was pretty good. Pretty awesome. Then I don't know what the other 2 things so much. What was the question?
What were the 3 best decisions you've ever made?
Decisions. I don't know.
But starting work.
Well,
School.
that was good. Yeah, working because I enjoyed it. I think it was good for me to do that. So
Buying a house when we came back from the Philippines. That was a good decision.
yeah, we have quite a few, together. Most of our decisions we did things together. So yeah.
Okay. What are you most proud of in life?
Family.
Family.
Okay.
We could say something that is not very true of a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
None of our kids are on welfare. They all got jobs, and none of them are in a slam.
I thought it was called a slammer.
Okay.
What are you most proud of as far as your kids? Same thing, I guess, huh?
Well, each one's different. Each one's got their own quote unquote success story. You've got a degree. Daniel's got a steady job. Donna's doing great. I mean, everything's great.
Yeah, they have, they have wonderful spouses. They have great children. They
None of the children are in a slam either.
they're great children. They're all, what more can you ask for to have such a great
We
family?
might need to fine tune a couple of them, but otherwise they're okay.
I think
Nobody
they're-
does exactly
they're-
everything.
I think they're just perfect. I
Yeah.
think they're amazing. Go ahead.
All right. I thought Dad was gonna say something else.
No, I'll let it rest.
Yeah.
Okay. What were 5 of the most positive moments of your life? And you don't have to say all 5 because you've kind of said some.
Positive moments.
Yeah, it's just 5, but that could go with your decisions you made. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes back to what we've already said in some form or another.
okay. Well, you had a question earlier. So, what message would you like to share with your spouse? This one is, what message would you like to share with your family, if any?
Don't put me in the home.
Okay, that's the first thing that comes to your mind.
I put that, the high school kids asked me to write something for this graduating class, and that's one of the things I said. Be nice to old people, don't let them put me in a home.
But what was the question?
The question is, what message would you like to share with your family, if any?
Keep on trucking.
All right.
Nobody's on the wrong track, I don't think.
No, I just, we all have our ups
So-
and downs, and we had ours, and everyone's had theirs.
I kind of look like this as like, I don't know, words of wisdom, or
Words of wisdom.
what message, or
I've already shared all my words of wisdom.
You
Okay.
don't have any more. You're done out
I'm
of
done out of wisdom.
Okay. All right. This is the last question.
Okay.
Now I like this question. What are you most thankful for?
Family.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, family.
All right.
How could you not be so proud of
Yeah.
your family? Right?
We're lucky. Like this year, we've seen everybody but Kyle. And we saw him a little bit before that, so. So even though there's quite a distance, we're still able to get together periodically in some form. And of course, this modern day where you can Skype, look them in the eye, and pictures are flowing. With digital, you could take 1,000 pictures. You don't have to worry about it getting developed in copies and all that stuff.
Get to see what's going on in their lives. That makes you feel closer to them and
Right.
what they're doing. And you get excited about, okay, he's a football player, or she's hanging from the rafters on her silks, or something's happening.
Or going to college, or change school,
Yeah.
or change
Yeah.
majors, or
Yeah.
whatever
Because
else.
when you were in Vietnam, every day you'd write a letter. Instead of, talk on the phone, you
But it
couldn't
would
do
take a
that.
while to even get that letter, right?
Yeah, so, some of the letters got a little boring because there wasn't anything going on, but you had to write the
Well, I
letter.
had to get the letter out of where I was. I was out by myself, so.
Well, you must really appreciate hearing from Mom, because you probably look forward to mail.
My mail come
Call.
in basically 25 miles away. So I didn't get it but once every week or 10 days.
All right, I'm going to add a question here.
Do
So
you
when
have a question?
I'm going to add. So when people come over, you were talking about pictures and things like that. How do you like being the paparazzi, Dad? Always.
I've chosen to ignore the complaints.
Okay.
It's like, hey, either post for me or you get what I take.
Okay.
You enjoy it, though. You like it. Because
Well,
you even asked me to help you to do your thing.
yeah, well, I like the idea of having it.
Uh-huh,
And old pictures, he loves old pictures.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you kept old pictures, cause it's,
Yeah.
you know, I like looking at them. Okay, so lastly, in summary, do you feel like the interviewer has been kind and respectful in this interview
Oh,
session?
The most.
Wonderful.
It's wonderful.
Get an A plus.
All right, well, thanks,
You
Mom and
don't
Dad.
get a check. Dork.
All right, that was 50 minutes, a little bit longer than, but
Oh,
thank you.
You're welcome.
And then, who was on the phone?
She don't know.
Oh, okay. All right, I bet you Donna's trying to get hold of you.
I'll go call her.
All right, thanks.
Well, it sounded like somebody's cell phone. That
It looked like a,
Staley's number, but it could
it
be.
looked like a,
Oh, so how do I find out who called?
just